Hi, welcome to Matt's Garage. It's been a while since we last filmed an episode. As you can see from my getup, it's way colder than it was before.
Definitely.
And we just finished roughing.
And roughing is the process of getting all your mechanical, electrical, plumbing, low voltage in preparation for insulation and drywall. We're gonna take you around.
Oh yes, sorry. We're going to show you what we've done and talk a little bit about some tips and tricks that you can use for your build.
Potentially. So this is the living room.
Yes, and as you can see we have a fireplace, but one of the things that Matt and I struggled with was if you're putting the fireplace in the middle of the room, then the TV, if you put a TV in here, then the TV ends up really high, and we don't really like that. We actually talked about not having a TV at all, but in the end we caved. And we've offset the fireplace so we could put a TV a little bit lower at a normal height, because we don't like watching TV when they're really looking up.
Yeah, and you can see it from the kitchen, which is behind camera. So that then brought us to the idea of blocking for the TV.
Right. We're going to talk about blocking a little bit more in detail later. But we blocked for the TV, and Matt had this great idea of, since we're building a custom home, to put in the speakers into the wall instead of having them out and having the wires all visible.
Right, and if you do it ahead of time, you can order these pre-construction boxes, which are just basically plastic brackets that the speakers slip into later. So we establish a center line on the TV, and the measured distance they're equal. We got a center speaker channel here, so this is like a 3.1.
Right, and the Smurf tube.
Right, the Smurf tube, so we can feed HDMI cables down from the TV into the cabinet. There's going to be a false cabinet drawer, drawer, so that receiver and subwoofer and stuff
right,
will go in
are
there.
not visible.
Yeah.
So one of the things about deciding to do these kind of in-wall speakers is that you have to decide. We had to decide early on what size TV we're going to get. So there's a limit, a range. I think we determined for a 70.
Yeah, 78 for this
70
one.
inch
Yeah, maybe.
is enormously
It's
big
ridiculous.
for us.
We've had the same 42-inch TV since Australia. It doesn't even get American satellite because it's like a different code. Yeah. And then, and since we did everything ahead of time, we got our cabinet designs ahead of time, so we also blocked out for the floating shelves that go on this wall.
Right.
Let's go to the kitchen. So this wall is like the wall from hell because it's got so much plumbing in it. But this is the plumbing for the patio, which we'll show you later. All the main water plumbing is here. We've got the vent for the vent hood, the controls for the vent hood, for the fan and the makeup air, which is required when you're over a certain CFM.
Did you mention that this is actually one of the kitchen walls?
Oh, did I? I don't know. So this is the kitchen.
Where there's going to be cabinets, upper cabinets at the top, and the range here, and the vent hood at the top.
In this region, yeah. So because there's so much stuff in here, we're really worried about somebody hitting it with a nail.
Right, so what we did was we actually went around the entire house, not just this wall, but the entire house, and measured from the left wall and put markings of measurement along every stud. And then, so that's for the horizontal. And then Matt came up with this nifty idea of using a stick to measure the vertical, and then when we take pictures, we can just line this up for the vertical. We've got the horizontal, and we take a picture and we know exactly, or at least very close, where our pipes and so forth are.
Yeah. Pretty precise. And then
Yeah.
Nandita came up with the idea of basically taking a little dry erase board, write the name of the room we're in. So I take a shot of the room, then we do all the photos, perimeter walls, ceilings, and then the next one so that when we're scrolling through, you know what room you're in. Because
by the end, you have like at least 100 photos.
Yeah, and once the drywall goes up, you're totally disoriented. So.
Right.
All right, that's a view of the backyard and the fireplace. Now we're on the patio, and this is our outdoor kitchen.
This is where Matt's going to do all his grilling.
Yeah, so a lot of planning went into this. because of the vent, giant 6 foot vent, 5 foot vent, 6 foot vent, what's 60 inches?
60 inches.
5 foot vent, and then, you know, all that tongue and groove ceilings, pine, and then planning out, you know, I purchased the appliances in advance, then we hired Eagle Outdoor Living, Rocky at Eagle, and he came in and built this for us, and then our tile guy will finish it in tile and countertops. But basically, it's a 30-inch grill and then a griddle side burner. This vent has the motors built into the hood. But it's going to be noisy. So in our inside one, we actually have a remote-mounted motor.
Right.
So the motor is actually on the vent on the roof. So it's going to suck from up there through and down to our vent, which should quiet it down quite a bit.
We were very meticulous about the height of these vents because
Yeah.
in a couple of places we've lived, Matt has had the unfortunate situation of hitting his head on the corner of the vents when
I hit my head a lot. Oh, and then people often ask us, are we going to enclose this? And we're not. The only reason to enclose it is bugs. So we went old school and just made a provision for a ceiling fan,
Right.
which bugs don't like wind. So should help. I don't know.
We'll see.
There's not so many bugs up here. They know better than to live
Yeah.
in
Some things
wet,
you can't
cold
plan for.
PNW.
Yeah. We also are putting outdoor heaters, of course, so
Yeah, there'll be a
Enjoy.
infrared heater up there in the corner.
sitting out here.
Yeah. And even one of the things we did is like, we don't have to install it, there's just an outlet for it. So, you know,
Yeah.
if we're tight on budget, which we will be at the end of the job, we can just wait and do that later.
Right.
But you put the infrastructure in now.
Here we are in one of the bathrooms, and as you can see, we have the recessed shower pans, which we planned for, and the
That
shower
would be
head is
flush when it's done. You just walk right into the shower, no curb.
right, and then there'll be a line drain at the far end. The shower head is on that wall, but since when you come in, you want to sometimes run the shower beforehand to let it warm up, we put the shower valve, the controls over here on this side. And another thing we decided to do was that we were going to have, because we have this flush shower floor, what is it called again?
Walk-in shower.
Yeah, like a curbless shower. We decided to have glass sliding doors so that you don't have the problem of when you open it, you can have a shower mat as well. So we're going to do sliding glass doors here. Okay. One of the other things we did in some of the rooms was we wanted to have the opportunity to put fans in, so we blocked for the ceiling fans. And then some nice to have things, like my daughter wanted a hanging chair for the ceiling, so we blocked for that as well.
Right. My son wanted a punching bag, but I told him he could put that in the garage. And then the other thing is, like, you want to measure out where your bed's going to go and locate, because there's code required spacing on outlets, but then there's also just what makes sense for the way you're going to live. So we space these outlets exactly on the side of queen size bed, basically.
Right.
And then same with ours for a master or king size bed.
And in our room, we actually put those little nifty lights right next to the bed, so you could turn off the lights while you're
Right.
in bed.
Well, and yeah, we not only is it going to control the reading light, it's basically a double switch, and so we made it so my side controls the reading light and one light sort of near that master entrance, so that if I get up early, I don't wake Nandita up. And then hers controls all the lights in the room. So, other than that one, I get one light, she gets all the rest of the
I think that the message here is that when you build a custom home, you can basically tailor all these little things for the way you live in particular.
Right, and our electrician, Florin, Current Flow Electric, he's great. He suggested all this stuff. Like, we're putting in little step lights all around all the hallways so that you can walk around at night without turning the lights on.
Right?
This is a rec room, and again, sort of just planning everything. I didn't even know 7.1 surround sound existed. Did you?
Yes,
7.2.
but I never thought about it.
I know. I'd heard of 5.1, but I didn't know there was 7.2. So we went ahead and just wired for it. It's cheap now when all the walls are open. So Nandita and I meticulously, with a laser, measured all the center speakers, the size of the TV. We made a cardboard cutout. This is the mechanical room. The doors kind of just slid them in there, but there's a furnace back here, tankless there. I had to drywall this before because you gotta do your fire rating before the furnace goes in. There's no way to get drywall back there. That was a huge pain. Recommend making this a little bigger. This one is a little smaller than I would like, but it's okay. It's hopefully you don't have to go in there very often. And then we're standing in Matt's garage. I'm gonna turn the camera around and we'll take a look around. So thank you for letting me have this garage.
This is a giant space.
It's a giant space. Yeah, it's really tall. One of the other questions I always get is, are you gonna put in a lift? Same answer, I'm not gonna have any money left over when we finish this job, so maybe someday. But I did put in the infrastructure, I put the money in the infrastructure, so there's
Right.
50 amp 220 on that wall, 50 amp 220 on this wall, 110s everywhere, 15 lights in the ceiling, and then a 30 amp over by the breaker for the compressor. And because of this load requirement, I have 2 panels. I'm running a 400 amp service with 2 200 amp panels, one for the shop and a few other things, and then one in Nandita's garage for the house. We have an automatic backup generator,
Right.
gas, and that only runs the house panel, obviously, because I'm not gonna be welding when there's no power. Well, I would, but it's not a priority.
Ceiling.
Oh, I also, little tips and tricks. So you see this rolling scaffolding? The electricians, because it's so high, the electricians were like, dude, we can't, it's gonna take us forever to wire this. Can you call your insulator and see if they'll drop off their scaffolding early because they need it anyway? And working with L&R Insulation, and they just were like,
L&R drywall, A&E
sorry,
insulation.
sorry, L&R drywall, AE
A&E
insulation.
insulation.
And why do we get those? Come on camera.
Oh,
And why do we get those confused?
because they're brothers.
Right. And it's not just like John and Samuel. It's
Bill and Bob.
Barr. So it's like, how do you even, I can't even keep them straight. How did you figure it out?
Oh, because Bill has I in it, and it's Bill for insulation.
Yeah, yeah. So the next steps are, the schedule,
Insulation,
Tuesday,
drywall,
next Monday.
stairs get delivered somewhere in there.
Right, I'm gonna do an episode on how to install view rail stairs.
Right. And then cabinets,
Right.
flooring.
Yes. So that's the deal. Probably 2 or 3 months left. 3 months,
Yep.
maybe 4. Hopefully 3. Okay.
Well,
See you next time.
wait. What's your, how do you do it? I forgot, it's been so long.
On Matt's Garage.
Just say do I go like that? Okay.
Sure. See you next time.
On Matt's Garage.
There you go.